Hey guys, so in today's topic I'm going to talk about another topic that builds on the first one I've talked about, which is paradoxal versus black and white thinking. And in today's topic we're going to talk about different versus good or bad thinking, right? And this you do in everyday life. You always label stuff as good or bad, better or worse, and it's always these two sort of opposites. And it goes back to kind of black and white as well, the way of thinking, black and white. So the problem with labeling things as good or bad, or as like being two opposites, is that by doing this you are already, or you are subconsciously on a very subtle level, creating a law for yourself that this thing is always good and it's going to be good for the rest of your whole life. And as I said, life doesn't work like this, because good things that are good right now, that you think are good right now, maybe in 2 years time you discover they're bad, or bad things that are bad for you right now, or not in this situation right now, maybe in 2, 3, 4 years time down the line they're going to be like, you know, the good stuff. So things are changing, the world is always changing, there's nothing certain, so do not try to create laws, but label things as, you know, one or the other, the opposites, because that creates a law on itself. I'm going to give you an example. That ties back to our judgments, on how we sort of judge people. Everyone judges people. Everyone is a victim of that. We all judge. An example that I personally got into, or that I personally do. Sometimes when I go to the gym, I see all these like beginner weightlifters, and I kind of like, oh, look at these newbies. It's kind of like a judgment. Look at these newbies, he doesn't know how to lift weights, he's just doing bicep curls, he's not even like working his body. What is he doing? He shouldn't be in the gym, so on and so forth, right? And so by me saying that, okay, newbies are like not so good, or they're not professionals, or they're not this or they're not that, or I'm kind of like labeling and judging them, what happens is that in 2 or 3, 4 years time, when I want to pick up a new skill, let's say learn a new language or learn a new sport, start playing basketball or something, guess what? I'm going to start from rock bottom. I'm going to start as a newbie, as a beginner. And the problem is, I've already judged these newbies before, so I'm going to be sort of judging myself. And I'm going to be like, wait, it's not acceptable to be a newbie. It's not acceptable to be a beginner. I can't be a beginner. I have to be a professional from the start, from the get-go. And the reason your brain would do that is because it's basically want to be coherent and consistent with its own actions and its own thoughts. So if it thinks one thing, want to be consistent with that thing throughout the rest of its life, right? And that's why when you judge others and judge things, you are judging your future self. Because whenever you want to do that one thing you judged, you're always going to be like, wait, well, I can't do it because I already have these thoughts about it, and I've already judged others about it. So I have to be consistent with my own identity. So that creates a lot of cognitive dissonance, that creates a lot of stress, mental stress, a lot of inner conflicts, which translates into anxiety and depression and really bad mental illnesses. So be careful of how you choose your language next time. Instead of labeling things as good or bad, professional or not, this or that, you can label them as different, right? Instead of saying successful, successful guy, and not successful, not so successful, you can say just different. You can say, okay, this person has more fame, more money, this person doesn't. That's not good or bad. This guy's different than this guy. It's just different, alright? You don't need to say, okay, this guy is good and this guy is bad, because, just by doing this, you're creating this sort of law for yourself that you have to be part of this sort of category of people. You can be part of this category of people because you've already kind of judged them, so you have to align yourself with these people. And sometimes you don't want to do it, but your identity wants to do it. Your sort of your past thoughts want to do it, because you've already sort of like created this law for yourself that it's hard to break from. And even when you break from it, you can break from it, but it's going to create a lot of cognitive stress and stuff. So that's all I want to talk to you about in this video. I want to make it sweet and short. So yeah, instead of thinking of good or bad, labeling things as two opposite, just label them as different. And the more you use this in your everyday life, the more you're going to find much more inner peace and less conflicts when you actually go and do these things that you've labeled as good or bad, and live life more freely, because you don't create all these laws for yourself, right? So thanks for watching this video. I hope you like it. Share it with your friends if you find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next video, and have a good new year as well. Thanks.